Do you know how it feels to be told you're not good enough? Do you know that feeling of waking up every day anticipating all the criticism and all the judgment? Do you know that feeling of when your heart beats out of control of fear and disappointment? It's exhausting. Our parents were subject to this too, of course, through media and advertising. Sorry. But anxiety and depression rates are increasing rapidly due to the introduction of social media. We live in a world through constant criticism, whether it's on ourselves or coming from other people, and we are actively encouraged to do so and to be like this. So how are teenagers expected to grow up happy and healthy when the media is sending toxic messages on you are not good enough? My name is Evie Sedgwick, and I have an anxiety disorder. I'm here to talk to you about how mental health in teens is increasing due to the different elements of the media and the retail, and why this needs to stop. We need to wake up and realize there is a problem. Manipulation is real, but so is mental health. Shame, guilty, not pretty enough, not skinny enough. Do these words sound familiar? Teenagers experience body image issues daily, and there are many ways that body image struggles can control the way we feel about ourselves. From Mental Health Foundation with YouGov, with over 1,000 of UK teenagers between the ages of 13 and 19 have said that 37% felt upset and 31% felt ashamed towards their body. How upsetting is it that teenagers are already worrying about their looks when they are already still developing? Now, it has been argued that social media is making this issue worse with the misinformation that is shared, the influencer lifestyles, and the harmful content. And as teenagers, our minds, we're still developing, so it's very easy to become manipulated through the simple use on our devices. Now, if you are consistently in this negative mindset and being bombarded with imagery and with influencers who promote their daily lives and say, look at me, I just worked out for 5 hours. My abs, oh, they're perfect. Oh. It almost becomes impossible to get better. Okay, that was a bit of an exaggeration, but that's kind of how it feels. Now, if you've ever seen the TV show Stranger Things before, the Mind Flayer is a perfect example. Now, this monster, the Mind Flayer, it consistently spies over the residents of Hawkins, making them feel scared, making them feel worried. And if we were to compare that to the real world, people like me can often feel like they're insecure and they feel like the world is watching them. Can't you tell? I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. I love it. I love Stranger Things. Now, I myself struggle with body image. It's a real issue and it's a real problem. However, when I was younger, I made the conscious decision on not to allow myself to have social media because I saw what impact it had on the people closest to me. And you know, as teenagers, we have the urge to experiment from time to time, of course, like downloading social media. But one thing we have to bear in mind is social media is deliberately designed to manipulate you. So for someone who does struggle with anxiety, I don't want my situation to become even more worse and make me feel more depressed with the way I look. A study shown by the Florida House experiment asked 1,000 people to volunteer in an experiment about body image. Now, 87% of women and 65% of men compare their bodies to other images they see on social media. How upsetting is it that we're already being so manipulated by the simple use on our devices, and it will only make us feel more depressed with the way we look? Now, it's not just social media to blame. I mean, for decades, the fashion industry, for one, has had a big impact on the way we view ourselves. For example, there are different brands out there that only sell only one size, and that size, whether it's an extra small or a small. Brands such as these, they are not inclusive to anyone who isn't, let's say, a size 8 in this. Size 8? Size 8? I forget all the sizes. There's too many sizes. My goodness. Yes, these sizes, my goodness, so many. They are not inclusive one bit, and in my personal experience, I was affected by this. I went to a store that only sold one, like their branding with one size fits all. And I tried on a couple of tops because I did like them, and I did fit them. However, I tried on one of their skirts, this particular brand, and I could barely fit it. I mean, I had to, like, you know, suck in like there was no tomorrow, that sort of thing. I don't know if anyone's been there, but yeah. It made me feel so incredibly insecure. So I went back to the clothing aisle just to search for a more appropriate size, but then I only realized that the sizing, it was only one size. It made me feel so insecure about myself. Like I'm not good enough despite my size. And after that experience, I felt more ashamed with what I ate as well. I mean, every time I ate like chocolate, cake, I'd immediately spiral, and I'd feel awful about myself. From Park Nicolette Melrose Centre, a presentation made by Heather R. Gillivan stated that around 30% of children between the ages of 10 and 14 are actively dieting. Children even younger than teenagers? I mean, teens shouldn't be dieting, let alone preteens, unless there's a medical reason to do so. If brands such as these have a way of controlling the way we feel about ourselves, and to only then make us actively diet, what does that tell us? Now, there are a number of models and plus-size models, actresses, and even musicians who go against the trend on, in order to be successful, you have to be slim. But on the whole, though, women and girls in particular are being encouraged to fit these impossible standards. If different industries such as film, music, clothing industry weren't forcing celebrities to conform what they believe would make them likable to an audience, the world would be such a different place, as celebrities wouldn't have to hide their true selves, rather be more realistic. And the same goes with influencers. If we have so many influencers controlling the way we feel about ourselves, then how are we supposed to cope? Let alone, how can we make this world a better place for younger teenagers that are being introduced to impossible standards? Like I said before, I struggle through this problem. I worry if I'm ever doing enough, you know, whether I'm likable to an audience. But for someone with anxiety, I'm always thinking about this. I'm constantly thinking about this, and it's dreadful. However, there are many signs that body image struggles are improving in a way. However, that just doesn't take away all the damage it's done to others, especially with what teenagers are surrounded by. I mean, for one, yes, there are other brands, apart from other brands that are toxic, that do a brilliant job of representing a wide range of diversity in their clothing. If other brands were to see that, you know, we're all different, you know, we can't all exactly be the same, we still have worth and we're still valued. You know, at the end of the day, it's the product, not the model and not the size. I also have a message for these toxic stores that only sell one size. One size does not fit all. It is essential to tell a trusted adult about these sorts of feelings. I mean, yes, as much as you want to bottle them all up and you don't want to tell anyone because it's just, trust me, keeping it inside, it's way worse. Trust me. I've done it before and it's definitely not recommended. if you consistently bury your face in your phone, especially teenagers, we're always constantly on our devices, try spending that time communicating with family and friends. You know, it is said that at Childmind Institute, children and teenagers with social media are not learning the vital communication skills that they need because they spend a lot of time on their phones. If you do have social media, instead of following the people who make you feel awful about yourself, or if you look at them and think, oh, I wish I had that, oh my goodness, perfect life, not perfect life, then try instead following people that actually make you feel better, or if they show their genuine sides. If you think about it, if we have so many influencers or telling us to lead this amazing life, we don't see the behind the scenes sort of stuff. I mean, if you consistently are negative or thinking badly about yourself or have poor mental health, we should have more platforms that actually show their genuine sides. If influencers were to show or to open up about how they feel and how they try to stay positive, then it would be such a different environment, and it would be a much more supportive platform for teenagers. If you consistently view yourself in a mirror, or you use these useless weighing scales or these measuring tape, stop. Stop right now. Is our self-worth really on the way we look? Why does beauty have to be the ultimate goal? Stop using these useless weighing scales and mirrors to only point out what you consider is a flaw, because it will not help. You have to start being nicer to yourself. You have to accept your body does change, and that's okay. You have to accept body neutrality, where you're willing to accept yourself for who you are, and you try to make your mental health and your life more happier and more healthy. I'm here to say that any weight, any food, any calorie, you are worth so much more than that. I choose not to have words control me, mock me, or make me want to do something outrageous to fit the standards we most desire. I choose not to have them. As famous actor Zendaya proudly states, the best thing to realize is that you are who you are, and you've got to work with what you've got. Dear teenagers, you are good enough. Thank you.